can see our first chatter, and I usually get my first chatter during this 2 minutes. Oh, I usually also start off by asking you a couple of safe questions like when did you start playing chess? Why do you like to play chess? And in your case, how long have you been streaming? And then you can you can talk about your own stream also, anything like that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
And really thank you for this lesson already, because I'm really happy to be on your stream and that we could do this.
Awesome. Happy to have you.
Thank you. Do you have a link of your stream? Then I can put it in my Discord.
Sure. I will put it in the chat.
Wait, then I gotta start up your chat real quick.
Well, it's just Tiberian64. So it's
okay.
It's twitch.tv/Tiberian64.
Well, I found it.
Awesome. Hey, Ratchet! Ratchet is our first conversationalist today. He got to be our first chatter today, so I have to update that real quick, hopefully. There we go. I try to get it in time for the lesson, but sometimes they beat me to it. All right, let's go. Ratchet says hello, long time no see. I think he's talking about long time no see with you, Ruru, and not with me, but I can't be 100% sure.
Maybe both of us.
Yeah, maybe. Hoss, thank you for the follow. I've gotten like 5 from a Hoss. I don't know if it's the same Hoss every time, but thanks for the follow. It just seems to always give you another. Yeah, I don't see you on any there. No, I don't see you earlier. Well, thank you for the follow, Hoss. All right, so we have our lesson today, our one-on-one lesson, which is I love doing one-on-one lessons. I'd rather do one-on-one lessons than almost anything else we do. It's just always hard to arrange timing and stuff, but we're having a one-on-one lesson with Ruru 2000, or is it Ruru 2000 Ruru? You're going to have to tell me.
Yeah, just call me Woo, so...
all right, we'll go with Ruru. All right.
Or Ruben.
Oh, Ruben,
it's
okay.
Woo 2000 Woo, but...
Yeah. All right. Let me change it on my... So on Lichess, I definitely saw that it was Ruru 2000 Ruru. So I will fix your name up here. But... so we are doing a one-on-one lesson that I promised him a long time ago, right, Ruben? I mean, we've been waiting.
I think it's already 5 months ago, 4 months.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while. So we're getting this lesson done. And guys, there's some things I noticed preparing myself for teaching. I mean, for playing serious chess. Hey, Chess Wizard, you made it. So one of the things I noticed that I needed to work on a little bit was there's some things that you do when you play, Ruru. And we're going to go over these with you also. But the principles that I want you to do are develop your pieces, which includes getting your king to safety, responding to an attack in one of the 5 ways possible, analyzing a position, and then the last one is finding 3 candidate moves. Now, depending on where you are in your development, we'll see which ones we're going to focus on. But before we start that, before we do that, before we actually start the lesson, I always like to start off with you sharing with my viewers why you play chess, how long have you been playing, and why you like it. So tell us about your chess journey.
So before, when I really started playing chess was when I think I was, when I started streaming, but therefore I knew the basics already. That I learned that along the way. But I started playing serious and start playing online like when I start streaming, because I love the game and I love the tactics behind the happy that Tiberian wants to have me here, and I think we can start with the lesson now.
All right. All right, let's do. So, guys, today we're going to do it just a wee bit different. Usually I go over games, but today I want Ruru to play a game. I played him a game the other day on his stream, but I want him to play a game against a viewer, not a viewer, but a game, a random game. It's fine. So, Ruru, if you'd go ahead and find someone and challenge them, we're going to follow your game.
Okay, so just 10 minutes rapid, I think.
Yeah, 10 rapid is fine. I suggest you do it with a increment. Always with an increment. You can play with +0 for fun, but if you're trying to get better, playing against that clock down to when you only have 10 seconds and you're just moving crazily not to get flagged isn't chess anymore. As soon as you're just moving not to get flagged, it's not chess. So if you have a +5 second increment, then even if you get down to 5 seconds, you have 5 seconds to think. Where if you're down to if you're playing a +0 and you're down to 5 seconds, you're not thinking anymore.
No, you're right. So I'm gonna do then 10 plus 5.
Yep, 10 plus 5 would be good. So yes, Ratchet, we're trying a little different thing here. So there you go. All right, let me resize my board while you play, and you can talk to us and tell us your thoughts while you're playing. You don't have to, but if you do, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just. I locked up my bishop already. Great start.
Hey, but you know you did. So if you know it, then that's okay, right? It's okay to do. You can break principles all the time if you're doing it knowingly. I don't know, Chess Wizard. You're gonna have to check.
I'm not streaming right now.
The answer is no.
Because I think it's Tiberian's content, and I want him to have this content. It's from him.
I appreciate it. I didn't mind if you did. You can always stream when I teach, but I'm okay either way. But yes, if you ever want to stream in the future, future lessons, feel free.
Okay, thank you. But I wouldn't, because I would like it to when it's my content.
Yeah.
Something that I develop, and then it's my effort that I put in, and I want to have his time streaming.
Yeah, I'll get you. No worries.
Let me see.
Yes, Ratchet says this is a fun King's Gambit you're playing.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing actually. I'm really bad with black. I should study my openings on black.
So that's an interesting thing to say, because one of the things I do teach a lot of is, especially when you're beginning, I say don't study openings, because you waste too much time memorizing openings when you want to be learning is opening principles so that you could apply them in any situation. So I think you're fine without knowing openings.
Yeah, I think you're right. Then, because you're the teacher.
I am the teacher. I get a role today.
Let's see. This is hanging right now. Can I put it in safety? No. Nope, this is not a move.
Yes, Ratchet, and that's why I think a lot of people do it. Ratchet was talking about winning in the opening is fun, nice. A lot of people study the opening because they get early wins and they want to win games without doing the hard work sometimes, right? Where they just, hey, I'll learn this opening trap. If they fall for the trap, I win the game early.
Yeah, but the problem with traps is that that they don't always work, and then you don't know how to play for after that.
Yep. Hello, shot popa, shot chopa. Hey, hello. Yes, you can be like Rosen and have both. Yes, but it's all about time management. Do you have the time to be like Rosen and have both? And you might, Rabbit, you might, and which is cool. Nothing wrong with it. But if you don't, that's okay too, right? And so I usually, but even then, for beginners, we're talking for beginners. I'd rather them not take the time studying openings. I'd rather them spend that same valuable time on learning the opening principles. And then they can always learn openings. And by the way, they could do that on their own. They don't need my help for that either. So that's another way I look at it, is that I'm not going to spend time teaching openings because they can get that from a lot of other places and a lot of other people.
Yeah, because a lot of videos are online about openings, and so
Yep.
you can easily find them.
Yep. So you made it rated. We talked about doing it casual, so I won't give you any hints because you're doing rated. We'll wait till after the game.
Yeah, don't. If I do it on my own, I think it's more. Then you will see more how I play,
Yes.
and you can learn me more.
Yep.
And it's cheating, but
Right. Well, that's why we wouldn't make it rated, but yeah, but I agree with you, and it's fine.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do how on this side how to make it weighted, but yeah, I'm fine with it.
Thanks, Chess Wizard. Good to know. I like it. I like that overall, but
Yeah. Interesting.
it happens, Ratchet. It happens. So, Chess Wizard, you just said that we can't give him any hints, and then you're writing hints. I mean, he already did it by the time he saw it, but what are you doing? You just said that you can't give any outsider help, and then you...
Already made the move.
Yeah, you already did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was okay because you already made the move, but I'm trying to figure out why he's telling you that after he's the one who pointed out that Lee just doesn't like it. So I don't. Why is he watching chat? Because he's watching the stream. He's on the stream, so he's hanging out with us.
Yeah, I'm watching chat.
Yeah, he's watching the stream. Chess Wizard didn't realize you were, because most people, when they don't. Most people are streaming at the same time, or they don't watch the stream. I don't know why not.
Yeah, I want to support the stream a bit. Besides that, I get a lesson. So
Yeah, see, there you go. That's a great reason. He supports my stream this way.
let me see. What can I do here? Oh, I should have put pressure on his hook on this move, I think.
No
Didn't
worries.
I? Because then I could have moved my bishop here.
Well, we can't see the arrows you're drawing, luckily, because we can't help anyway. So,
Oh, okay.
but just remember that for afterwards, definitely, when we go over the game.
Yeah, I will remember it.
Oh, really, Chess Wizard? Okay, well, you're gonna have to scope that one out for me and tell me what that bot is. And I don't know if I want to do that because I mean, a lot of times we want chat to be involved, right? But I guess I could turn it on and off. He said there's a bot that you can use that would block all moves. In the chat, he means. Going well. We're at 72, and I haven't taken the time to do anything else with it. Keep getting 90. Nice. You still didn't beat your 91 though. Yeah, I'm stuck in 72, and I just haven't had the time to play with it since. Oh, is he? Nice. Oh, let me throw in some music in the background. I always like to have that.
Okay, his back rank is free, so I can use that maybe later on. What do we want to do with it? I can move here, I can move here, I can move here. Let's see, what can I do? Don't like that move. I think it's still above my rating, but I'm not sure about it. Because I don't play a lot on this rating. Still. Okay, he wants the bishop. I got the back. And I'm gonna put it here. I'm hanging this far that I can make an attack here. So normally yes. Sorry, I should use coordinates because chat can't follow me.
Yep. Let's do a shout out for you while we're doing this. Good job, Ratchet. Good job.
Thank you for the shout out.
Oh, what is that? Demit Lichess extension? You're going to have to tell me what that one was. Yeah, Ratchet asked the same question. What is that?
So Tiberian, why did you start playing chess and what?
Oh, okay. That's So I have been playing chess since I was 8 years old, and my dad taught it to me. My dad just likes he liked chess. He played chess for many years, and
Yes.
So he taught me, my brother, and so we played chess with him. And that's about as far as it went. I would play with my brothers and my brother and my dad. And then in 1972, when Bobby Fischer won the world championship, there was the Fischer boom, everyone calls it, because everybody started, getting involved, watching chess, being excited about chess, and I started playing in tournaments. And so I played in my first tournament when I was 16 years old, and did well and enjoyed it. And I've been playing ever since. It's just a great game. You have to think all the time, so I can't even think of negatives about the game. It's just very good.
I can agree with you. It's a beautiful game because it's a logic game, so you can elaborate tactics
Yeah,
and
agreed. Let me see.
make new.
I think it's a artistic as well as a scientific. It's like a sport because you can make art, right? You can do exciting things on the chessboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find where the settings is, Chess Wizard, and probably give that ability to people.
What is going to happen is you can take my rook. Can you check me? No. My pawn is hanging. We should move this. We can move it down there. Interesting. I'm gonna move it up. And his rook is hanging.
Yeah, White resigned. All
I
right,
didn't
guys.
expect that yet.
Yeah, I know, right? That was an interesting resignation, but I think he saw the writing on the wall with that pawn heading down towards you. So, all right,
Yeah,
let me.
and his rook was hanging still. What I see.
Yeah, his rook is hanging because he moved the queen. Yep, yep. All right, Ruru. I don't know if you've ever used the study functionality in Lichess, but if you go up to the top and you go to Learn, you'll see the
Yeah.
fourth item says Study. Click on that,
Yes.
and then you click on Studies I Contribute To, and you should only see one.
There it is.
Yeah, you should only see one, right? Because since you don't
Yeah.
use it. And you'll see two games in there. And the nice thing about this is you can actually move the pieces, draw arrows, and I get to see it, and you get to see what I draw and move pieces.
Okay, nice.
So
Nice.
yeah,
I didn't know it did exist.
yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's a really powerful tool for teaching and working with other people. So we're going to be able to discuss your game and talk about placement and all that. So I have another game I played with you, but you played this game so much better. I saw no free candy. So that's why I'm glad we did this, because based on our last two games, which you were streaming at the time, and that's always distracting, right?
Yeah, it's distracting, and I don't play that often on stream actually, and because most of the time I'm in just chatting.
Right. Gotcha. All right. So, to make Ratchet happy, we'll talk about the opening a little bit. So he's playing the King's Gambit against you, and you did what we call declining it. So anytime somebody gives you free candy, right, there's nothing protecting it, so right now it's called free candy. Anytime somebody gives you free candy and you don't take the free candy, it is termed declining the gambit. So a gambit is when you give away something for free in hopes of getting usually quicker development or an attack in response, because you don't get the material, but you just declined it, which is fine, especially if you don't know the opening. There's nothing wrong with declining it.
I knew the basics, but I thought I gonna decline it because I didn't want to play the gambit.
Okay, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I usually tell my very, very beginners, always take free candy and make them show you why it's bad, why they're going to win the gambit. So they learn by accepting the gambit. But I'm very happy with you not accepting the gambit. You're definitely stronger than what I'm talking about when I say my beginners, that I say no opening preparation except for learning the principles. So you're doing fine. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you lamented blocking in your bishop, but that's that's part of it, right? Because now you're attacked twice and you only protected once, and you have to decide: do you protect it? How do you protect it? And there are other options like moving here.
Yes.
That's definitely an option. In fact, I saw on somebody's YouTube channel, I really liked it. They said anytime this pawn gets pushed at you, that you should push this pawn.
Yeah.
He said like 90% of the time, if someone plays f4 against you, you should play d5 immediately.
Okay.
And it works here, and it would have worked here. This is a common version of the opening, the Falk-Bear counter gambit. And if they make the mistake of taking here, they pretty much lose right away.
Yes.
Right? Because they get into all this trouble.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they got to take this way. And then you can take here, or you can push to keep the knight out of here. And that's your next decision. You have to take or you have to push. But, that would be something you can look up. And as a GM just told us on stream the other day, you really only need to learn 5 moves or 6 moves to an opening. But anyway, so yeah, blocking in the bishops is okay if you just realize, okay, I'm going to have to develop them someplace else, some way else. That's okay. But I love it that you realize you've stopped the scope of the bishop. So do you know good bishops from bad bishops? Have you ever heard that term?
Yeah, I think yes. For the moment, my black one is, I think, a bad bishop, and my white one is the great bishop, because all my pawns here are on the black squares, so the white bishop can easily move through it, and my black bishop is kind of stuck, so is... did I understand it well then? Or?
You're perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
I don't even have to explain it for anybody because you said it perfectly. So yes, this is your bad bishop, and so one of the things that you normally try to do, like you were intimating about blocking in your bishop, is usually try to get the bishop outside of your pawn chain so it isn't as bad, right? Then it becomes a better piece. But yeah, you got it. You got it. Excellent. So he just, now he conversely, right? We can learn from each of you and your opponent's moves. Your opponent blocked in his bishop, and that is his bad bishop, right?
Yeah, but he could move it easily out. So
Yes.
That was a mistake, I think.
Yes, he could have moved to either one of these squares with tempo without a problem. He did not need to push d3 because you weren't attacking his pawn yet. Right? So, yeah, I totally agree. He could have and should have, probably, in general principle. And this is why I'm saying you don't need to learn the opening as memorizing the opening, right? I want you to understand the principle of good and bad bishop, and that you're trapping your bishop, you're keeping your bad bishop bad, but you accept it. Where he doesn't seem to understand the principle because he had a chance to get his bad bishop outside of the pawn chain, and he didn't take that chance. Now maybe he's planning on doing this because he expects you to pin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. We gotta love you developing pieces. Because your opponent moved this pawn, you're actually ahead in development. You have more pieces developed than white, and it's white's, right? You just had an equal number of moves. So you're actually winning the development race.
And two of his pieces can't really be developed on this point, I think.
Yep.
Because both his bishops are stuck behind his pawns.
So Chess Wizard, don't agree. Chess Wizard says that back here that this pawn was attacking here, and that's what this was for. He thinks it's for the bishop to protect the pawn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying, Chess Wizard. But if white understands the opening, or even if he doesn't, he gambited the pawn. He wants him to take the pawn. So let's say if we do this and he takes the pawn. White says, great, this is what I wanted. I wanted this move with this attack and taking over the center. This would be what white wanted. So, all right. So yeah. So that is. I understand now. You're saying that's why he moved the pawn to protect this pawn, but it makes no sense since you're playing a gambit. You're not in a rush to protect that pawn because that pawn you're trying to give away. But anyway, okay. So we develop some more, and he develops his bishop to pretty much the only square he's got. Oh, my brother's calling me. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Hola, mi hermano. I am streaming. I am teaching ruru chess lesson. Yeah. All right. Thanks. I will. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye. He said, excellent. Have fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I like picking up on him because he knows we do chess streaming. All right. All right. So now he develops the bishop and says, now you don't really get an effective pin if you pin me, so he's happy. And you developed your bishop. So basic principle, and since you're watching the stream, I can jump to it. You are doing develop, develop, develop.
Yes.
This is sign language for applause, and the fun part is we actually also have sound effects, so I don't have to do sign language when I want to do an applause. I can actually... We can give you the applause.
I did. Develop.
Yes, develop, develop, develop. So the thing I usually like to tell people is, it's like real estate. If you ask somebody what's the 3 most important things to do when doing real estate, when investing money. I'm sorry, or is it real estate? In selling real estate, it's location, location, location. And in chess, what are the 3 most important goals in the opening? Develop, develop, develop. So
yes.
Just to really drive it home. So yeah, we're happy you developed. All right, your opponent castle, which counts as a development move. Castle. We have king safety. Now yours is more safe because you have 3 unmoved pawns. while your opponent has one weakness, which, as you know, you don't have a bishop hitting and you don't have a queen hitting. But as you saw later, that actually came to play a little bit. But let's see. Let's keep going. All right. So this move I don't like at all by white because it breaks a principle. And the principle is develop, develop, develop. He has this piece to develop. He has this piece to develop. And he has the queen to develop. And rather than develop any of his pieces, he pushed another pawn. So he's pushed, if you look, 4 pawns already and didn't develop a piece. Also, this creates a weakness for your knight to hop into, right? Because that pawn can't hit it. And now this pawn is also, it's gone, right? Both pawns have been pushed.
Yeah, and that's what I played.
Yes, you did. And nothing wrong with it. I would have been also happy if you just developed, or fianchettoed that bishop to develop out here. I would have been okay with any of those, but this is moving a piece twice. Normally don't like it, but you spied that he's not developing. He's giving you a chance to maybe make an attack. I don't mind you jumping on that opportunity, right? Why not? And he could have reacted in many ways. I think he chose a poor way to react because now the king has no pawns in front of it. And this would have been great if he was going to castle queenside instead of over here. But look, these 2 pieces, and actually these 3 pieces, still aren't playing. And until you get all 3 of these pieces off the back rank, this guy doesn't get to play. So you have 1, 2, 3 pieces playing, and he only has 2, and now he has his king wide open.
Yes.
And there is the part about free candy that you're attacking this pawn twice, and he's only protecting it once. So you did good, right? You took the free candy.
Really delayed, actually.
Right? You took free candy. I mean, you got a pawn. You got the pawn that was there. Now, your pawn is tough. I mean, it's doubled. You know about double pawns, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's weak, but right, he still has to move again to even attack it. Either move the knight to discover an attack on it, or he needs to move a piece to attack it. So why not take the free candy? Finally, the gambited pawn has been taken, but he took it with, look at all this open space around his king. This is not safe. He should not feel safe. He should feel at risk. So he develops a piece, says, I'm not going to take back yet. And you moved a piece. For the second time, you moved a piece twice in the opening. So in general principle, I'd say that was a bad move. But you can get away with it, right? Because again, he has this open king side, so you're taking a little bit of a risk. He could definitely come here and attack the pawn right away to take it back, right? Even if you chase him, he gets to just take it. So you'd have to protect the pawn.
Yes.
And then he could try doubling up, getting another piece on the pawn. So, you know, he could try to win the pawn. You could try to keep the pawn, by the way. So you have multiple ways to try to protect the pawn. And then you have another way to protect the pawn. So if you wanted to try to keep this pawn longer, you could. And I think it's obvious that if you were to take your knight in a trade, you were okay because you were going to bring the pawn to the center and protect this pawn.
And it develops, and my queen gets more free space to go to.
Very good, very good. What kind of pawn is this?
So I think on that moment, I developed my horse because until now everything that I took, he took back. So I thought, let's develop my horse a second time, so I can take with my pawn. So it's that pawn is stronger and is protected.
Yep.
And I can develop my queen to d4 and create like a threat for him.
Yeah, you'd also get your bishop to come to life, right?
Yeah, so it actually develops all my pieces
So,
at that point.
So you and I agree that white taking would not be a good move.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's why I played it, because I knew that it, if he took, that I would have an advantage on that point.
Right. So what should white do here? So we agree white shouldn't take you. You were anticipating he might, since he traded every chance he could. What should he have done? What could he have done to bother you that you might not have liked if he did it?
Like plays queen, or let me think. That would have we placed, I think, his horse, but placed it on another case. But it is, I don't really know, because
What would you feel about that?
that would be annoying. But I would, let me see, what would I have done then? Probably took his horse on that moment, maybe, and with that,
Or he might have taken back with the. You could even take back with the rook.
yeah.
So his bishop has more life now because he pushed the pawn one more time. But, right, and like I said, it could be this way, because then he has also discovered attacks on this pawn possibly later.
Yeah.
So what is this pawn called, by the way? How would you describe that pawn? What terms would you use to describe that pawn?
I think like it is, it can't be taken by anything less than a pawn. It's called, I think, an outpost, because of that it can't be, because it can only be taken by a piece.
So this is actually an outpost, protected by the pawn. This, like say this pawn wasn't here, pawn wasn't here, then your knight here would be on an outpost, because this pawn blocks anything and there's no pawns to take you off. Yes. So this pawn itself is not an outpost, though it could be the anchor for an outpost.
Yeah.
This would be a beautiful square for you to plop a knight into. So it's a nice anchor for a possible outpost. Okay, but so besides a possible anchor, what else would you call it? We said it was doubled, right?
Yes.
So that's a doubled pawn. There's one more term for that pawn.
I don't know. Sorry.
All right.
I don't know my chess
It's called a passed pawn.
Oh yeah, of course.
Ah, so you knew that one. So
I knew that one.
So there's no pawns in front of it, next to it, or directly in front of it. So this pawn always has the potential later to become great.
Yeah.
All right, so that's another thing he has to worry about, that if he were to take you to take back, you trade off everything else, that pawn is always going to be threatening to become more. Okay. But he didn't trade, right? He didn't take this time. This time he attacked the pawn. And you used the pawn. Now you could have used the bishop, but then, you start falling into issues. But you decide to use the pawn, opening up your own king. But his king is wide open.
Pretty safe there, because he didn't got his pieces really out of on the board, so I could develop that. It didn't really matter, because I had a wall on this side.
Yep.
So.
No, I totally agree.
And this blocks still blocks because of.
Yep. And he can't even take the time to attack you with the pawn, because he'd lose this pawn multiple ways. And even if you were to take, you could take back, and you still covered. So yeah, he can't even push this pawn for a long time, because it's too far away, and he's got nothing really protecting it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you're looking good. All right. brings in the knight kind of late to the game, right? We call this coming late to the party because the pawn's already protected by a pawn. So I don't care how many pieces you attack it with. Since you can't attack it with a pawn, you're going to have to give up a piece for these two pawns, right? So that's never pleasant. So this is kind of getting to the party late, and I don't think he had a plan, right? At this point in the game, he has all of his pieces. Somehow he got them developed like really quick. So he's got all of his pieces developed. He needs to make a plan, and this is not a plan. This is just moving.
Yeah,
So
that's a one. He was just thinking one move forward.
yeah,
Maybe he wanted to do a check, but that would be stupid. Or take my bishop, but that wouldn't also not be that great because it just his knight there is better than my bishop where it is now, so it would be a great trade for me.
yep. This is a bad bishop. That's bad, right? He's acting like a big pawn, except he's hitting this one, but he's a big pawn, and his knight has options. Even if his knight just sits here, his knight would be more useful than your bishop. But yeah, so I think he lacks a plan. So let's talk about plans a little bit. What could be yours or his plan is based on the situation on the board. Your pawns are pointing this way, by the way. So you should try to get an attack to the king side.
Yes.
So you could slide over.
Yeah.
Right? So your pawns are saying attack king side. And his pawns are saying the same. Attack king side. So that's okay. But his plan might be, because there's action on the wing, and this is the king's wing, we have the queen's wing, but since there's action on the king's wing, his counter attack can be in the center. So it's not to attack on the other wing as a counter. When you're being attacked on one side, the answer is to attack in the center. So we're back to, he could have pushed the pawn and try to build up an attack in the center, right? He could get his rook over, and he could play on these files. He can get his bishop to have some life. You know, that's still a nice diagonal later. So yeah, this is the move I would have expected to see.
But it didn't happen.
No, it didn't. It didn't happen. He just moved the knight again, which didn't seem to do anything. And you said, okay, well, if you're not going to push in the center, I'll attack the center square and see what you're going to do. Because if he backed up, you probably could just leave him here. You could push him again and say, now you can't push without trading. But it also frees your queen, right? Yeah. So, yeah, life is good. That's fine. You put the question to the knight. He decided to do some trades. And this is not bad for you, right?
No, it's, I think I'm the better one on this spot.
Yep. Now, notice, I said he should be attacking kingside. He's got a hard time breaking through because, you know, you've got this lockdown pawn position. So he's having a hard time attacking here. So he's going to try to change his attack and come over to the queen side. But the problem is, we don't attack with pawns. We use pawns, hopefully, to get out of the way so we can attack with pieces. But when you want to attack a side or the center, we use pawns to make breaks, not necessarily to attack. And I don't think he's looking for a break. It seems like he's just attacking the center.
Yeah, what he wants here, what he did is like prevent me to give him a check.
Yep. I agree.
To infiltrate on this point, I think.
Very good. I agree. I think it was more prophylactic of keeping your queen out than it was anything else. But then he missed the chance to keep you out of here by pushing one.
He should have played it there because that would be better for him.
Yes. So that would have been much better. It would have kept your queen out. It might have even prepped to push here, even though this pawn might become isolated. He needs to get active if he's going to have any chances. So yes, this is a mistake, right? It overreached. And now this pawn becomes bad. are weak. And what is this square called? You call
is this an outpost?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's your outpost.
Yeah.
Protected by a pawn,
I got it.
and no pawns can chase him out. There's your outpost. He can only. This is the only piece that he has that can even chase you away. Right? Because he has no bishop, and he has no pawn. And the queen is the only one that could chase you away. And you could have put a rook there. It would have been a great outpost for a rook. It doesn't matter. But it's an outpost. Awesome. All right, we gotta love developing the bishop, and a pretty straightforward threat because of this. And I call this alignment. And you did it early, right here. You put your queen in alignment with his queen. Now, your queen is not protected, but his
doesn't really matter.
Not yet. And his queen is not protected, which doesn't matter yet either. But it's an alignment thing, right? So you both have to be cognizant. You have to be aware of the fact that they are in line with each other and bad things might happen. And so now you have the check. You still have this alignment, and of course you're attacking this way. So now he has to remember, I can't move this rook up too early because I'll lose this rook. I can't move this pawn somewhere because I'll lose my queen. I gotta move my king because I'm in check. Right? So if he did something really blunderful like blocking the check, you'd say, oh, free candy.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, so you have an alignment, and now this is threatening to take advantage of this alignment because this pawn cannot move. This pawn cannot afford to go here. Make sense? So you knew that, right? I think you did. You'd only had 2 places to develop it to.
Yeah, but I knew what I was doing because I saw that if I attacked that pawn, I could easily take that because he couldn't take it back.
Very good. So you noticed the alignment. He obviously did not and continues. So where I agree with you, this pawn move was originally, I think, to maybe do prophylaxis, because why start with that pawn? But he lost his mind and just said, I'm going to throw all my pawns. And throwing your pawns against 3 pawns and no king over here, this is no threat. I mean, what are you threatening? Because you have no king over here to be attacked.
Maybe the heir behind my pawns.
There you go. He doesn't like the heir. But, so yeah, it's free candy. So you took the free candy. Now, he could have done things like come here and protect the pawn.
Yeah, that would be a better move, I think.
And he could come here and do alignment. That might even be better here, because now when his queen moves out of the way, not there, but when his queen moves out of the way, the rook is aligned with your queen.
Yeah, and if he moves, if I here, this, and I would have moved this then, to put pressure on this pawn.
Okay, and a discovered attack over here on this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Makes sense. Now he could have went here and said, okay, your turn.
Yeah,
By the way, you couldn't take this pawn right away because of the bishop hitting it. But...
Then
Oh, yeah, now we're talking.
So that is for sure losing for him.
Is it? For sure losing? Where do you go next? How do you finish him off? I like for sure losing, but I want to see you finish him off then. I mean, he only had one legal move.
I probably would go here.
All right, so he's got to go here, right? Got to protect the pawn. Oh. I think he might have to go here.
Yeah, and then I don't know it anymore. But
Okay, and maybe you don't have to push this pawn, but the consideration is that your queen, while he got in, right? We call this infiltrating.
Yeah.
Just because you infiltrate doesn't mean you you're for sure winning. If you don't have you can't get this piece in. This piece isn't ready to go. This piece can't get in. This piece can't get in. The only thing you have to help is this bishop. I mean, sorry, is this pawn, this bishop. This is the only thing that you have that can help. Oh, let's see. In this line, Chess Wizard said white wins a pawn on g5 in that line. Oh, white wins a pawn on g5 with this push, because the queen can come here and say check. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Chess Wizard. Yeah. So I just want to make sure we don't have hyperbole in our mind that I'm winning. This game is I'm winning.
Yeah, but I see that this is a good position that I'm
yes.
in for the moment.
Yes, I'd agree. You're in a better position than your opponent for sure.
That I will probably win if I play it the right way.
Right. I mean, I think you're at an advantage. You're the aggressor. Your pieces are in a nice pot, but it's not a done deal, right? I mean, it's this protects, and you're right now you need to get other pieces in, and maybe pushing this pawn, right? Because then if you take.
Because and early also, because then I have
but he's not going to take again.
No.
Right? He's not going to make the mistake of taking. So he's going to bring the queen over probably and say, okay, time to either you trade or you get out of my town. I mean, he could do this. I mean, if you go back here, then he could chase you again, and then you've got to leave town, and it's not big problem for you, right? I mean, if you go back out of town, it's like, so what? Okay, I'm out of town, but look, I'm happy.
Yeah, and I have still my question on.
Yeah, and you still got to be careful with your weaknesses because of this pawn being weak. So again, I don't know if that's a good way to go.
If he takes, then I would have pushed here my pawn. So
okay, and Chess Wizard is reminding us that if here on this one, if you just take, you get to win a pawn, which is very true, and then your king can slide up and you get an open file. And this pawn can still, and so here you're winning. Here I would agree, you're definitely winning. Definitely winning here.
Yes.
Okay.
And interesting.
All right.
So
yeah, no problem.
Let's go back to the game, I think.
Yes, let's do that. So this move we know is just a mistake. And you get free candy. Very good job of taking the free candy. Always like it when you take free candy. And he opts to go this way versus attacking the bishop. Because you already have two on here. But okay, so he attacks there. And I like the fact that you realize that you can always get, right? You can always get infiltrate on the 7th. The 7th is a great place to infiltrate with a rook or with the queen. So, nice.
Yes.
All right.
I knew that you want to have your rook and your queen on the 7th rank.
Yep.
And I didn't know why he did that. I would have expected that he would go back to
me too.
A1 to keep his pawn.
I agree totally. Totally. I think that was just I don't know why he blundered that move. I have no idea. I don't know what he was thinking. I have no idea what he was thinking. So he gave away another free candy. So you're looking good. And this bishop move, unfortunately for him, while it does finally blockade the passed pawn, it's very late, right? He could have done that ages ago. He had the knight there, and he should have blockaded that pawn and kept that pawn. C5 and C5 and rook to C8, yeah. So Bizarre Bra says he would sack a pawn here and then get his rooks going, which, yep, I definitely. So he's just shuffling the bishop.
Okay.
And then,
So what I should have done is here push my.
Well, it's a possibility. That's all, right? It's definitely a possibility, and I think it was even. So he took here, went here. He's saying you could just go here, and he doesn't even have to come back with the rook. You could take back with the queen, even, right? I mean, if he were to take, you could even do this and just slide back. But because the pawn's under attack, he's saying that you could just bring a rook over. Let's say use this one, and that was his idea. This pawn gets to be a little feasibly weak. I mean, if I was going to take this way, I could have done it right away. But yeah, but I think you're fine without doing that. Also, that was just Bazabra's suggestion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did win.
Yep. No, I think you're fine, and you're now this move. Were you thinking this the whole time?
Yeah, I saw that I can because this king was here, and that I can maybe infiltrate later on this point.
Okay.
And what I was thinking here too was like I could have moved my bishop back.
And then what?
I don't know.
Okay, I was just so I was thinking your move would be here first.
Yeah, that was also one of the possibilities that I saw, but
and then
I was not sure.
And then this rook could come here, and you'd have every piece hitting the square. So this is the concept of piling up, right? Just piling up.
Yeah.
I mean, why not pile up? Yeah, nice, Bazabra. So, yeah, I was thinking that you'd go here, and he almost, I mean, right, he's got to find a way to protect. You could triple up, and now every one of his pieces is tied down to protecting the pawn, while yours are all attacking the pawn. It's kind of like he starts getting into a situation of zugzwang when he has no good moves, and you still have this move when you want it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's just another development option for you. So back here, Bazarbra, we got to give him some look at what his plans were. Things like this. I think I said, well, then you might do that. And he said, yeah, but if you take here, then you lose the game here.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
He's wise.
Yep. So there you go. But, yep, so you have both of those opportunities. But what you did is fine, right?
Yeah, I was safe.
Yep. So this move seems to be a wasted move, chasing him again. And he only went here instead of going, well, he can't go here anymore because of the queen.
Yeah.
So now he has to find a new square for the knight. You know, here it bites on granite, as they say. So he chose here. Maybe he's looking to get here if you don't stop him. Maybe he figures maybe he could kick your queen finally, but you say no. And you could have stopped it here too. This move was interesting. It kept pieces out of here and here, and he, you know, his next best bet is to chase your bishop again, but okay. He decided to come in. Okay, back in the other one. So, but here, you know, again, this is an attack, granted, but, right, that's all he's got. And I like this. It's already protected. You're still going to shuffle over to here. And I really liked your placement of your bishop back in here. So your pieces, so another way to look at it is, your pieces are all alive, while his pieces are locked down, passive, doing nothing but protecting, right? Look, this one's blockading the pawn, trying to protect this stuff. This bishop is protecting. The queen even here was just protecting. So his pieces are passive, protecting, while yours are active. And the more active player in anything near the end game has a big advantage. So you have the active pieces, so you have the big advantage. The threat is too much, he can't take the pawn. and then you outlike it. Now that you've saved the bishop, you calmly stop his queen's minor a bit of attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, these dark squares are locked down, while white's dark squares are very weak. Now, granted, you don't have a dark square bishop, so that's good for him, but that bishop is just blocked in. This rook is blocked in. Even his queen isn't doing anything. So none of his pieces are active, and yours are all active. So the best he could do is go back. You say, I'm going to protect this pawn now, so now I don't even need my queen to do that. So now your queen is free to take like this pawn. I take it that's what that was about. He gave you free candy because I guess he didn't want to try protecting it. I don't know.
I don't know either what was that.
Yeah, so, sometimes your opponent just makes your game easier.
Yeah, maybe what he was looking for is like, he wanted to let me take with the other pawn.
Yeah, to free this battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you never know. You might make a mistake. So here he goes back again, and now he's thinking about coming in. So you have all this tension, which of course right now you can't do much with. But I love the fact that you keep the tension. You're not worried about anything he's doing, and you just take the thing what's this thing called again? A pass pawn.
Yeah.
And pass pawns want to be pushed. Even if this pawn doesn't queen, he's going to create so much havoc for your opponent that he's got to deal with this pawn. This pawn is going to become the thing around his neck that he has to deal with. And so first he tries, but I think he forgot. I mean, this isn't going to work. So I think he just forgot that you were protected. So you push again. And then he realizes, oh wait, yeah, he's protected. Okay, I could attack the pawn. And by the way, you can't just ignore the pawn, because then his queen would be hitting on this pawn, and we don't want to give him this file for his queen. So again, really like your move here. The only thing that's under attack is here. You could have even brought this back, but the bishop's doing good work protecting here. No reason to move the bishop. So excellent find. Excellent find. Now here you have two choices. You have a third, but of course you just lose the bishop. So here you have two choices, and you have to find the right one. Yes. And Bizarre is reminding me that you could have just pushed, because if the queen takes, he loses the rook.
Yes, I saw that too, but I was like, I didn't want to lose my pawn, because I thought it was really strong on that point.
Yeah, you got a point there. I mean, even here, granted, that you're nicely ahead of piece, but this rook is out of the game for a little bit. You'd have to move, and get him back in, maybe. So that makes sense too. There's no reason not to do this. But yeah, the point was, if he takes it, he loses the rook. Very good. Oh yeah, black is definitely winning. Yes. Agreed, Bizarre. He says he loves these kind of games. So you have two choices. It looks like you took this one so the queen can't get here.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously there's nothing wrong with this move, because here he still doesn't get anywhere. In fact, here you trap the queen, right?
Yes, that was indeed. I was thinking this is if I moved here, I had less options later on to move around, and so it puts behind my pawn, so I have the choice, if he puts pressure on me, which side I go, and
very nice.
So I always protect that one pawn at the behind it, so I'm sure that he couldn't take, and that my pawn switch.
Yeah, excellent thinking. I love your thinking. Great job. So he can't go there. We know that. Okay. So what happened? Oh, he did go there. Is that what happened in the game? Yes.
And then he resigns.
Did you move rook to d8 first?
No, he resigns after that. I moved out.
Oh, he resigned here. Yes,
Yeah.
these are my analysis. Let me delete from here. I guess I don't have to. It says White resigns. So yeah,
Yeah.
White resigns because I don't even think he could stop the pawn. I mean, his bet. I mean, he could come all the way here to try to stop the pawn. You attack it, and then his rook can go underneath, and then your bishop can go here, and he can't. He has no good moves.
Yeah.
And
Now he can put it behind it on b5. I saw.
no, it's just
no.
take him.
Yeah. So he couldn't.
Yeah. So you resign because you're going to go all the way.
Yeah.
So very good, very good. Now, when we look at our
Yeah,
items,
our game was really bad. I know.
we're not going to look at that game. We're going to ignore that game. So let's look at the principles. Do you know the rules? Yes. Do you know the piece values? Yeah. Do you know basic checkmates? Not sure because we didn't get to a checkmate. Do you know free candy? Yeah, and you gave away no free candy, and in fact, you set him up for a simple one-move attack of free candy that he missed. He missed the fact that that pawn was free, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what am I signed out of?
Where was it, the pawn?
No, it signed me out. Why does it do this to me? It's just being so rude. So the pawn you set up with the bishop takes c pawn because of the discovered attack through.
Yeah.
The alignment of your queen with his queen so he couldn't take.
Yeah.
Right, that's the one I'm talking about. So you set him up to lose free candy and he did not notice it and you got to take it. So you did a great job of taking the free candy that was available. So I feel like you definitely did a good job with free candy. You didn't give any away. You gave some away when you played me, but you didn't give any away with him. You developed your pieces. You did a good job of developing, and I don't mind that some pieces take longer to develop, but you seem to understand the importance of development. You definitely put your king to safety, and you took advantage of him not being safe. Now, these two, by the way, I'm bringing these up for all of my chat also. I just recently am getting back to being serious about my chess, not just teaching. And we have a goal to become a national master someday. And I'm supposed to start playing in over-the-board tournaments in 1 year. So I'm trying to prep for that. So I'm playing more serious games, and I'm playing in a Lone Wolf League, which is a 30 plus 30 game once a week.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So I played, and I realized there are things that, while all of these are principles and concepts, I have 41. So while these are principles and concepts I want all of my students to understand, to know, and to use, there are a few of these that are actually things you should be doing during a game. So most things you should be thinking about and looking for and identifying, like basic tactics, right? I should be looking for basic tactics, applying and using those basic tactics. So that one could be a use. Finding alignment is a use case, right? And you found alignment, by the way, and did you take advantage of it? So that's another use case. So these would be use cases. But some more obvious ones to me are develop, develop, develop. Thinking about how to respond to every attack. Thinking about the position and analyzing the position. And within the analysis of the position, you have, you're looking for how the position changed. Do you have any checks? Do you have any attacks? Do you have any captures? Do you have any threats? And one of the attacks or threats you have is based on alignment. Another attack or threat you have are based on tactics. So those to me fall under that analysis. And then the last thing that I should be doing every time I play is finding 3 candidate moves. And it doesn't have to be every move, but it should be most of my moves, right? It should be most of the time I should be finding 3 candidate moves.
Yeah.
All right. So these develop, responding, analyzing, and finding candidate moves. Oh, and watching my time. I wanted to slow down. Are the 5 things I think I should be doing at my level. And I played 2 weeks ago. I did none of those 5 things.
Okay.
I develop. I didn't even develop well. I just played, and I played. In the end, I played badly. I played okay at the beginning, but I just played, which is what I do online when I'm streaming. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, no, I got to get serious. So the second week, I said, I've got to do these 5 things. Well, I did 2. I did time management, and I developed. But I still didn't focus on how do I respond. I did not analyze the position, and I didn't even find 3 candidate moves. So I did 2 out of 5. Now, I have a chance again, of course, every week. So this coming week, I'm going to try to get at least 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's what I want to do. So looking at what you did and what you need to do, you did develop, you did king safety. We listened to you analyze a little bit, right? But you, like you said, you don't do it a lot yet as far as speaking out loud. And we didn't look to see how you respond to each ones, and we don't know if you did any candidate moves. Now, your time management was fine, spot on. Nothing wrong with your time management that I could see.
How much time did I had left? I think 6 minutes or 8.
Let's see. Let's see at the end what you had left. So you had 5:27 left, and your opponent had 3:37. So yeah, you were quite healthy.
Yeah, I'm good then.
But this is why I highly recommend you play no 0 games.
Okay.
Because you need the time increment if you're trying to play good chess and not just have fun. If you're just trying to have fun, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But otherwise, I'd stay away from bullet and I'd stay away from 0 increments because you want those increments to help you think more. And if you notice, you never felt in time trouble, and I don't think you would have been, even if you got lower, you had time.
Yeah.
All right. Nice game, though. All right. So, but I don't know if you found 3 candidate moves, or if you only looked and said, I like this move and went with it. When we get, like right here is a...
Bishop, wait, so I'm back.
Let's go. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you go wherever you want.
This is a 2 move here. I saw this, and then I wanted to bring my bishop here because of this pawn.
Right, and that's okay. I mean, I would say that back here, that you could have said, or even back here, your plan was, well, I'm going to go here. I'm going to try to get here with a check, right? But this wasn't here yet.
Yeah, but what I was thinking is like, if I go here and then here, I check his king, I bring pressure on his rook, so that is great. And what I already want to do for sure is, if it depends what he did, but then I want to develop my bishop to align my rooks. That was what I'm thinking.
Ah, yes. Yes. All right, so find for me 3 candidate moves here. Because I think what you just described is that you only had 1 plan. So I want you to show me...
wait, it's later on, I think, that's where I had more moves.
Okay, but go back to that move.
I don't remember when, but I'm sorry. I don't remember the whole game.
Right. No, I don't need you to remember. I want you to go back and find me right here. Boop, to boop, to boop, to boop, boop, boop. Okay, not remembering, but right now, find 3 candidate moves that you like.
What I like for the moment is like, the move that I played.
Yep.
Delaying that move and play a bishop, develop my bishop. And the other movement that I could have done is with trying to get an attack on this pawn, or move my king, or move my rook down here.
All right, so what are the 3, or did you end up with 4 or 5? Give me 3 that you like.
This one, and this one.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Now, how would you pick which one that you like the most?
like this one is a developing move, so it's great, but you can play it later. Um,
Okay, so I do like this one because it's a developing move. Agreed with you 100%.
so
I like this move because it's in alignment with a rook on the queen.
yeah, so that's why I would play it. And this one was the best for me because I can put him in check next turn.
All right, so is the fact that you could put him in check next turn good enough to make it your best move? Objectively, right now, do you still think it's the best move?
No, he could have pushed, but if I put it in check, what would have happened? I would have had one pass one and one here. It would damage my structure.
But we also talked about that he could have done this, remember? Prophylactically?
Yeah.
And you talked about things you could do, but still, that keeps your check out.
Yeah, so that's
might not be as good, right? And
it's not that good.
And he could also move here, right? He could also say, I'm going to just move up. Or here.
But so this move was better.
Sorry, go ahead.
This move was better, I think.
I agree. I agree. General principle wise, your rook's doing nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be here. This gets the rook on the file, so I like it for that. And I do like your bishop move, because again, by principle you develop. Now the negative is he pushes, but if he pushes, then maybe you get the rook move in. He can't take, can't push. You've got too many pieces. So then he's got to protect, right? But yeah, so I think this move is a good move because it stops the push, and you can always back it up with the queen the next move. So
yes.
yeah. Now this move worked for you for sure. Definitely worked because you had multiple options still going. So, but yeah, so the point, and I'm okay with you even if you said in the long run you still like this move the best and you still would have made that move. I'm totally okay. But I just want you to have, like I didn't do either. I admit it freely, right? I confessed. My last big series game, I've only done 2 now in that league. I did not look for 3 candidate moves. But I'm telling you that, don't do as I do, do as I say. Teacher says you should be looking for 3 candidate moves. And if you did, then you would have had 3 options, and you still could have went with this one. I'd be fine. But this would be a point when you should have said, I got 3 options. Now, once you decided on this one, right? Once you decided on that one, and he pushed here, you can look for 3 candidates again, right? You can say, I'm going to go here with check, because he can't do anything but move out of the way, so that's a free move. And I like my queen here. I like the pressure. All right, any other? Yeah, there you go. And another candidate might be right here, right? Still.
Yeah, that are still the 3 candidates because of...
Yeah.
And here my logic is, of course, first checks, because then you can develop further, and this bishop move is always there. Still
right.
There, because you can't put anything on one of these places, so you can develop it.
And since you had started 2 moves before thinking of candidate moves, and these were candidate moves, right? When you get to this point, you don't need to find 3 candidate moves again, although I don't care if you do. It doesn't hurt me if you do. But you don't have to, because you could say, hey, let me just see. I want to see how the position changed, right? Okay, I don't see any big difference, except maybe I can get in here someday because now he's not protecting that square.
This was also for me. If I did this, then my follow-up would be a thing like this due to.
Yeah, but this is just bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
think that's just bad for black. You have double pawns, but you have this pawn is impossible to protect. You have no dark squared bishop. You have no way to actually protect it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
So that one would be thrown away as a candidate, but I do like that you noticed that, hey, the king is no longer protecting the square, the bishop is blocking the queen, this rook is kind of tied down now, or I get to infiltrate. But that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, but now you might only say, well, I'm going to glance quickly and say, nope, I'm down to 2 candidate moves because these 3 moves worked well together. I want to get them all in. So you chose this one first because you have an immediate threat. And he missed it, and you took the free candy. So now, you get things like, here again, it'd be nice if you had 3 candidate moves, but right now your bishop's under attack. So the only other choice is you have to double up your other candidate move from before. So if he takes you, win a rook.
I'm not sure if I would move this rook, but I would move this rook because of because this aligns with this, and if eventually this pawns fall, I can still move this pawn up and be covered, and that rook wouldn't do anything.
And nothing wrong with that thinking. The general rule I try to teach is, if you use this rook only has 1 square at the moment.
Yeah.
And even if you push this 1-1, he'd only have 1 square this way. But if you use this rook has 2 squares. And of course, he can still move up and he can still slide over. So, if you're going to align both rooks on a file, it really doesn't matter which one you move first. But right now, this rook has more scope, and he's over here still for future use. While this rook was biting and not doing anything, and he can't really get to this one because this pawn's in the way. So, yeah, debating. But in general, the general principle, I would have used this rook. I would have used this rook because this rook had more life to come. But no worries. All right, so that would be a candidate move, right? It could be even, this could be one, this could be the other. And this move threatens to win a pawn, but it doesn't because he should have went here. He should have just said, nope, I'll go here. But you ended up getting a free pawn out of it.
Was one move, attacking move.
Gotcha.
And I knew that they aren't the best, but
yeah. All right. So one of the things I will challenge you to do moving forward as you're playing, not just today, but the next few days, is if we go back to the principles, the one I want you to do. We're not going to talk. We could talk about analyzing the position, which is see how the position changed, what checks, captures, attacks, and threats do you have. And of course, you should still do this. We should do this. And we could talk about the 5 ways to respond to an attack. But I think for right now, I'd like you to find 3 candidate moves because you can do that early, right? In your development. So let's start looking for 3 candidate moves. Make sure we don't forget to still develop in king safety and don't give away any free candy. But let's find 3 candidate moves. So I want to watch you play another game. And this time, you don't have to talk about a lot, but you do have to, I do want to hear you tell me 3 candidate moves. Not every move, but very often, especially when it starts getting any kind of complication.
yeah.
So if you're here, and you go, he goes here, and you go, I don't want to, I'm not going to accept the gambit. I'm going to either play here or here to decline the gambit. Or here, that would be a counter gambit. So you actually do even have 3 candidates here. See, I'm trying to talk myself into thinking I don't need 3 candidate moves on every move, but it's almost true, right? I mean, sometimes no. I mean, let's do this just a few moves. I'm waiting. Okay. So here, do I need 3 candidate moves? Well, I could move here, but then my knight is stuck. He has no way out. Right? I could trade the bishop next. And maybe that's good.
You have still 3 moves that you can make, but one
Yeah.
You have to pull back your knight
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
here. And I don't like that because probably he would push this pawn, and then he has a 9 of pawns here, and that's 12. And this is just a trade and a boss pawn. So that's better.
Yep. Yep. But you're right. Even here, you had 3 choices. All right. Let's hear you go through 3 choices then. Do you want to do another random game? That seemed less. I usually get my chat. They like to challenge, but I'm thinking you could just go ahead and find another random challenge if you like.
No, I'm okay with somebody to challenge me. Wait, I gotta put the light on.
Okay.
This is better.
So guys, it's up to you. You could challenge Ruru to a game. Chess Wizard, maybe you'd be a good one. I think you'd match up really well. Yeah, we got him to turn on the light there, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Michael Sunday 13.
Yeah, it's for my chat.
Okay, yeah, I thought he might be because he said he noticed that you were in the dark. But yeah. So anyone want to challenge Ruru to a game? Hopefully someone around 1600 maybe? Because right now he's 1526.
It can be higher then we can see how I do against them.
Agreed.
Because for the moment we don't know what my rating is here.
That's true. You have not played enough on Lead Chess to have a standard rating. 10 plus 3 is fine. 10 plus 5 is even better, Chess Wizard. Let's give him a 5-second increment while because he's going to have to do.
I think I'm already playing him.
Did you start a game and I didn't realize? Oops, sorry, wrong person.
I just started.
All right, there you go.
Chess Wizard.
Okay, and he did do a casual though, so he boarded the game. Chess Wizard is so good. Yeah, Chess Wizard, challenger 10 plus 5. Let's give him 5 seconds, and it's nice of you to leave it casual. Chess Wizard is like one of my favorite people. All right, there we go. All right, so I want to hear 3 candidate moves. Go for it.
Okay, this one. I have this one, I think.
Well, you got to tell us what it is because we can't see.
Oh, wait. A5 I'm gonna play, but there's D6 and C6 and F6 isn't a great move because then he just pushed the pawn and now I have to defend it. I can do it 3 ways. I like more where I put my. Okay. Now this pawn is you can play this and then this is hanging. So oh wait, you can still see it.
Still cannot see it. Yes, that is true. We cannot see. Sorry guys, I changed the Nightbot and I forgot to hit submit. Sorry, I fixed the Nightbot now. I fixed the Nightbot. Sorry, you told me I changed it. I forgot to hit submit. All right, Ruru. Yeah, you're gonna have to tell us you're gonna have to tell us the move, what you're thinking, because we can't see.
Yeah.
So did you have 3 candidates for that one? I didn't hear it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Do the next one.
Yeah, my bad.
No worries. And if there's only 2, or sometimes it's just like you feel it's forced, then tell us that. That's fine too. You could just say, nope.
And, the last one I had also that check, but I was not sure about that. Just delaying it, and this is protecting my queen. So yeah, I'm really bad with and this is happening now. I'm playing bad. Oh.
That's okay. You played great one game, and now you're having a little trouble. But we still want to find candidate moves.
Okay, yeah, you still want to, yeah.
Yeah, I still want to hear candidate moves. So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking of developing my bishop on e6
Okay.
on my other bishop. But I really like my white bishop because it's protecting my pawn on um, protecting an extra layer on my width. So I'm gonna move that.
Okay.
And I have to move quicker because otherwise I don't have time enough.
Agreed, everyone. How are you? Life is good. We're doing a one-on-one lesson with Ruru. We're having some fun. Okay, so you don't even have to explain to us why you picked the 3 moves, but just throw out the 3 moves before you make a move.
C6. Let me see what's the other. F6 because of developing, and the other was D. Bishop D6.
All right, now you can pick the one you like. I will draw the arrows if you do what you just did. I didn't think that was any one of the 3 choices you picked.
Yeah, I mean knights. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't do any one of the 3 you said, so I was curious. Yeah, so there we're not going to do candidate moves, right? I mean, either one. You weren't going to do candidate moves when you needed to take back. But now, give me 3 candidate moves.
I can castle, but it's not great. I want to develop my one of my pieces because development and nothing is hanging. So I'm gonna put my bishop on c5. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, and your other candidate was the knight somewhere?
Yeah, knight e7.
And then you said the other one was castle, which you didn't like at the time.
Yeah. For the moment, I'm thinking of protecting my pawn. So that's what I'm gonna move. I can also protect it by castling, but I don't like that. So I can no, because I gonna castle because otherwise he can move his pawn forward and I hang. And I still see chat, so.
Yes, you do. I'm just hoping you're not reading it yet. Yeah, Michael might not know. He might have joined us late. So, guys, we're doing a one-on-one lesson. Ruru is watching the stream, just so you know. So don't give him any hints. Don't give him any suggestions. But like what Michael did, which is after the fact, he said he thought you were going to do something. Yeah. I think that's okay.
E7, and then I want to develop my other rook, and I think that can be great.
All right, so you said knight to e7 is an option. What was the other one? That's one option.
The other one is a6, and the other one, let me see, is moving my bishop back, but I don't like that.
Interesting. Okay.
To a7.
Gotcha.
I can trade that down, but I don't like that because this is the open file. So I'm gonna move my. I can take, but then he takes, and I don't like that because then he has the open file. So, but I can also move f8 or a1 is in my head, and or the horse to g6. So I'm gonna do this.
All right.
And so maybe next turn I gonna take his rook because of. I'm okay with that. It's taking back. me see. Do I want to trade? No. I like more this line. He has to protect that one. Then I was thinking of that I move my horse to attack, actually develop it further. So that is one of my moves. I have also a bishop move, one back, but it's not doing anything. And one aside, but on d6 my bishop, and that hangs actually at the end. And so now I have to move my bishop. I'm gonna move it, I think, to b4 or to a6. I'm gonna do that. It's stressing me out. Because I have to constantly think about let's de-double pawns. So I had two options here: take with the one pawn and take with the other. I'm thinking of the option d8 because of like my the rook can't move then, and my pawns are safe. No, they aren't. But I hang the pawn. I'm hanging a pawn.
Yeah, that's okay. It's only a casual game too, so that's good.
Yeah.
This won't even hurt your rating that you're building for Elite Chess.
Because probably I will this one or this one I would have moved here, because this one enables this move, and then I'm gonna move one up, so I'm safe. And that's a logic move, because he didn't want to put me in, let him put in check, but let's move it down here, so I can take one of these two pawns that this one he can protect. So I'm gonna go to a1 to attack this pawn and collect it. Now my horse is under attack, so I have to move that one. I'm going to f8, so it protects this pawn, and this pawn, that other move can trap my horse in a corner, and I don't like that. For the moment, after that, or I should move this pawn up, or I should take, depends on what he does. I'm gonna take his pawn. Okay, so next move, he probably wants to take this one, so he can create this threat. So I have to move one of these, and I'm gonna move my king side. Or should I know, worst horse ever, thank you. I'm gonna take this pawn. Okay. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take... I should have moved this at this point. Oh, it was stupid. I'm sorry if I don't do the...
3 candidate moves?
Yeah.
No worries. You can even resign this game because we have enough to use. Remember, we're just playing this one for educational for you for practicing 3 candidate moves.
So this one, I'm gonna go
Yep.
down here.
Bizarre, I saw it too, but I wasn't going to say anything, of course.
This one. Oh, I'm gonna resign now.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead. And we'll take it to an analysis
Okay,
board.
great. Thank you for the game, Chess Wizard. I really appreciate it. I did. We can analyze this.
We're not going to spend a lot of time on this one because all I'm looking for is 3 candidate moves.
Okay.
Okay, we're not analyzing the game to see what you did wrong, right? We're just looking for 3 candidate moves. So
Okay,
since we couldn't see you at the beginning, so here you have choices. Now you remember I told you I didn't like White's move, prophylactic move, before there's a threat. And I see what you're worried about, right, is the fried liver.
Yeah.
Fried liver, again, this is one of those where I'd have to bow to Ratchet where he says, you know, see, you're worried about knowing openings. But here, this is forced, right? You don't, but so here, usually you get into this situation.
Yes.
All right, and so this is infinitely playable for black. There's nothing wrong with this for black. So there you go. It's in the study. You can look at it. That should make it where you're not scared of the fried liver anymore. The other option, though, to break out of the fried liver is this move.
Okay.
Which is, what's good about it? It's another developing move. The knight move's a developing move. The bishop's a developing move. We usually like to do knight, bishop, then knight, bishop. So this is perfect. Knight, bishop. You're not into the fried liver. You're good to go. This center trick doesn't work because you actually get the bishop. So, if you don't want to get into the fried liver, versus pushing a pawn and not developing a piece, remember, develop, 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 I do this, or just learn that one line of the fried liver, which should make it not scary for you anymore.
Okay.
Right? I mean, this is not a normal move because it blocks in the bishop. It blocks the pawn, but that's the right move for white. And you could, even not knowing what to do, you could just say, okay, I'm going to develop. I'm going to develop. I'm going to do normal moves, right? Even just, I'm going to develop, and you'll be fine. Right? You'll be able to play this without, I think.
So I should learn that line.
Sure. And it's only one line, and it's only about 5 moves, right? But again, and you don't have to. You could do this. But this one I'm not crazy about because I didn't develop a move. I weakened my king's side, so it's not the way I'd want to go. And he immediately strikes at the center. You're a little bit behind the development. He says, well, give me the center. Again, you could have just taken, and he could have taken, and you could have said, I'll let you take this time. Or you could have even said, no, I'll go ahead and take. And you're still quite fine here, right? You're not in any way, shape, or form in any real horrible fears. And you could just press on with your game for a while. Okay, but this is okay too, except that now we have to know this alignment. So this is just an alignment, but back to what all we're really focusing on is now what are my 3 candidate moves. So a candidate move could be to take here. Candidate move could be to take here. All right.
Want to develop.
Yeah.
What I was seeing was it could develop my bishop, but the problem is that he pushed that pawn, and I have to go back to this point, and then I don't have really.
Yep.
Then my bishop is hanging there, and then he could push maybe again with pawn or this pawn, and then I don't have really. Then I can go there with my horse, and I lose a pawn. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this is not a good candidate move. Agreed.
No.
Agreed. So again, taking is a candidate. Taking is a candidate. Even pushing you can try as a candidate, but then it just takes, and you still end up having to take here. Not any good, right? Not any good. Not any good. Not even close. All right. So you could say yeah, pushing, but I mean I think safest is to take.
Yeah, I think too.
You could actually even bring your queen out early. I mean, it's very dangerous. But then you could pin him so that he can't get that knight in here. So you have options. Okay, but yeah, so here I would like you to find 3 options. And you have to realize that if you do this one, this is just like, you just gotta be used to this, that when they take, if you take back and he takes back, your queen is going to be traded and that bishop is going to hit the pawn. So you're going to lose a pawn, right? I mean, that's the problem. You lose a pawn here. So if you take with the king, you lose this pawn. If you take with the knight, you lose this pawn.
Yes, indeed.
Right, so it's good enough for white because he wins a pawn by taking. The other way, by the way, here, when he takes, do you have 3 candidates? We have 1, we have 2, do we have a 3rd candidate anywhere? Can you see a 3rd candidate?
Move it 1 forward, I think.
Then I think, yes, but he would just take, right?
Yeah.
Any other candidates? So 1 is take with the pawn, 1 is take with the knight. Do we have a 3rd candidate?
Let me see. Yes, to pin his horse. For
What? So where is it? You can move now. Now I can see your lines and arrows. Oh, okay, yeah. You could pin the horse, and if he takes, then you might take back with the bishop or the pawn. You're still giving away a pawn. But I mean, that's feasible though, right? But you are giving away a pawn. By the way, you could also go here.
Yeah.
And when he takes, you could take with check.
And then he loses.
He doesn't have to lose anything if he does this.
Yeah, you're right.
But are we equal? Yeah. You did not lose a pawn because you took back this pawn.
Yeah.
So even here, when he takes, you want to slow down and say, okay, if I take, what happens? Well, if I take, white, he could take my queen. I take back though, but then nothing's protecting the pawn, and I lose a pawn. And if I take, and he takes this, or let's say I take with the knight, and he takes my knight, and I take back, he takes my queen, my king could take back, but then his bishop gets my pawn. So I'm going to lose a pawn in both of those scenarios. So the question has to be, is there a way to keep me from losing a pawn? Right?
Yeah, that isn't.
That might, I mean, I don't like it because it blocks in the bishop. But, you know, he could say, well, I'm going to develop another piece. Or he could say, well, I'm going to develop my knight. Be able to plop him in here and chase your queen away. You're in trouble, buddy. Right? I mean, he could do it. I mean, it's definitely playable.
Yeah.
But maybe you go here, but then he takes, and then you have to take back with the pawn. Yeah. So you go on, and you go on, and you go on. But yeah, so even here you want to. I do think you have time to find 3 candidate moves. So now,
yeah.
so here we got the pawn is attacked twice, and you're only protecting it once. And so yes, you want to find a way to protect it. So you can look for three candidates. One is that you can block with the knight. You don't have to block with the bishop. So that's an option. Obviously, blocking with the bishop is an option. It's one you took. And do you actually have a third way to protect this pawn? You can move it, but if you move it, it's not a big deal, right? Because he's still. By the way, we're not even paying attention. You already have two pieces protecting it.
I know, but I want to kick out the bishop.
Right. So you have a candidate move. You have a candidate move, maybe. You definitely have a candidate move. By the way, you have a candidate move. There's no reason to worry about these two. You're covered.
Yeah, that wasn't.
So attacking his pawn might be a good way to go.
Yes.
And you can even you could prophylactically keep that knight and the bishop at bay. And so let's say he castles. And now if you still want to get here, you can always put it there. But you might still again say, you know what, I'm not going to touch this bishop yet. I'm going to go after this guy. Or you could go here. Or you could go here. Right? So we could be developing. You did develop here. But this move I just didn't like because you allowed doubling up all over the place. You could have taken. You could have taken him and made him double up his pawns.
Yeah, but I did like him to develop his rook.
Yeah, but I mean, do you really care that much? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but
yeah,
I did like the idea.
Yeah, I understand. So not taking, I understand, but now, right now, while we want to develop, this guy is doing work. This guy is not playing. This guy, even though,
I should have developed my horse.
So my three candidates would have been one of those two, or I still like this prophylactic move, but I like developing better, so I would have liked to see the knight or the bishop, and that way you could castle kingside if you want to. You're only down a pawn. So you're in this game totally, right? You're down one pawn. You gambited a pawn. So, no big deal. But this move allows doubling of pawns, and then he broke up your pawns. So,
I was from that moment off. I was losing.
Agreed. How many pawn islands do you have?
I have on this screen now is I think 4.
Very good. How many pawn islands does your?
Count the doubled pawns as separated pawns.
Correct. So it's still, but even if they were, it's an island, right? These two are an island. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 islands. How many islands does he have?
3.
Count them for me. Show me.
Oh no, he has 1, 2, 3.
No, he has 1. These guys all count as the same pawn island.
Oh yeah, 2. So he has just 2, and I have 4, and it's a little bit more.
That's right. So the benefit of having pawn islands is that you have more files to play on.
Yeah.
The negative to open files is they can't protect each other. So while you have rooks, your pawn islands are a positive, or at least not a big negative. But if you trade off rooks, your pawn islands are a definite weakness. So at this stage in the game, your plan has to be to play on these open files, keep his rooks out of the files, and give yourself a chance to win some material. So let's see what happens. Actually, you castled, you're on an open file, but this is the open file. This is the file that both of you have open. While this file, only you have, and only you have this one. They're semi-open. But the point is that you have 2 files to play on, and he only has 1. By the way, I personally liked here. because this doesn't bother me at all.
Okay, yeah.
This is good. And you had talked about fixing double pawns, and this would be fine. This would be a good start for you if he would have done that, which he shouldn't. But, I mean, it's protected, and he can't protect that way because of that. But, yeah. So this, is good for you. I would have put the knight in its normal best square. And the nicety is after you get into that square, let's go back to, after you get into, if you get into this square, that later when you chase the bishop back to here, the knight can actually also hop over here and bother the bishop.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's okay. You went here, and this was good. Now watch this one. This looks like you have only one move, at least in your mind you did.
I should have taken with my king.
Yeah. You still have another option, right? Remember we talked about options. You had an option.
If he check, I can move back, and then his
bishop is still hanging.
Yeah.
Yep. And from here, you really can't go here because he has 2 hitting you.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, you could, as you know, you could do this. You could also trade it. You could take and let him take. But that's if that were to have happened. It didn't. What happened was you took with the rook. And then you said, nope, I don't want to trade, which is correct. So you're back in the same situation. He slides away. Now you got to find a way to perpetuate any kind of attack you want. You move the knight. The knight isn't doing a lot here, but it is hitting nice squares. It is hitting nice squares.
Yeah.
You could have tried this to follow up with this and then that. But the point is, if he leaves, then he drops that pawn. So this might have been a try.
Yeah.
But this one, I wasn't excited about. Every square you hit out here are all already attacked by this bishop. And
you're right.
And this is the only 2 squares you have left. But it was already attacked. Here you realized, you didn't realize. I thought you were going to take this way. Because why? We want to keep the rook from infiltrating. But you rightly thought about getting rid of double pawns, but incorrectly thought that would be better at this situation. These are 3 pawns, doubled or not, you can hold these 3 pawns with these 3. So by taking towards the center, which is a general rule, you would have kept the rook out of these 3 squares with the pawn and your king.
Okay.
And this pawn keeps this one out of here. So now the rook's only infiltration spots are here. And granted, you're still here. So again, if you went here, traded off. This is one of those weird things too, by the way. So let's go back just real quick. Like you said, you don't want to trade. But let's say you did trade. Let's for argument's sake say you did trade. Now your king can look where your king is. You're in the center. A lot faster than your opponent's king.
Yeah, and that's better.
You have same colored bishops, so it's not as drawish a game. You're still down a pawn, but you're only down 1 pawn.
Yeah.
So you might have dynamic chances, right? You might have chances because you have active pieces. Basically, your king is more active than his king. So it's just something for you to think about. Because right now a draw would be good for you because you're down material. Right? When you're down material, and then I just saw this was a problem that he's going to get this. It keeps him from taking this pawn, but he does get to take this one with a check. And then he gave this move, he gave himself luft, and you checked him anyway, that's fine. And right now, but the problem is, of course, you couldn't afford to do any of that. But what do you do instead, right? If you were here, at least you could come here. But you're here.
Yes.
But you're here. So what do you do? This pawn is falling. And really there's not much you could do about it. So as we go on, as we see as it goes on, he missed, he took here. You only have, remember I just told you, remember you didn't have any of these squares?
Yeah.
Now you don't have this square. So now you're down to these 2. And this square he later gets your knight, but he should have won your knight right now.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, Chess Wizard missed that. So you actually had his knight right away.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
But the other way, I would lost it too, I thought.
Yeah, you're gonna lose it. Yeah, I mean you're in trouble. So yeah, no worries. So back to though, we want from way back here, a good practice, a good thing for you to start thinking about is finding those candidate moves. Even I'm gonna argue that even here, even when it seems like it's obvious, right? I don't need 3 candidate moves. You went with this one. Now, the fun part is as you play this opening more and you try this one against people, and you try this one against people, and you try this one against people, or even here if you wanted to, when you try these moves against people and you start going, I like this one better, the next time you play it, you're not going to go, I need 3 moves. You're going to go, hey, this is the move I like best right now. I'm doing that move. Because you've already thought about it in advance.
Yeah. I was thinking about putting my horse here.
Yeah,
Because then I could develop normally because this hits this and then he can't move it.
Right, but why not? But then you could just wait till he does that.
He couldn't move it because this hits there.
Yeah, so that's why I'm back to I like this.
Yeah.
One, he can't go here because the knight doesn't block your queen.
Yeah.
And now, by the way, obviously, now you can go here because now you just castle.
Yes.
Because this is not good for white. This is known not to be good for white. It's 6 points for 6 points, but you have 2 minor pieces for rook. Rooks, as you see, won't get in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
So your 2 minor pieces are better in the middle game than his rook.
For the moment.
Cool beans.
And pawn is hanging.
Yes, and he has to deal with it, right? Or you can castle. I mean, not castle. You could develop the knight. But yeah, you're much better.
And then you can do this.
You're going to get this piece out. You're going to get your queen out. You're going to slide the rook over.
And this is better.
Yeah.
This opening, here in the opening, I made a mistake, and that cost me like 8-1. That was a problem later on.
Yes. And the problem, I'd say the mistake, yes, you made a mistake of not realizing you were going to drop a pawn, but that's all you did was drop 1 pawn. But more importantly, in the opening mistake, I think, is doing this, worrying about something that you, 1, didn't have to worry about, but 2, you can do it other ways by developing a piece and letting the queen keep hitting. And then once the bishop is out of the way, your knight could go normal square because now this doesn't work because you could just castle.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's in this line I should have played this because that's I think now the best move. This develops my bishop and this is
still covered. Right, still covered by the queen. Yeah, you have options. I mean, the point is you have options. And I almost never want your option to be weaken my king side, not developing a piece. I don't like that combination.
Yeah, that isn't the best combination.
No. So Max, what do you mean? Show Traxler. I don't know Traxler. How often do pawn exchanges at the last line even happen, given that both players are playing somewhat optimally? Which pawn exchanges are you talking about? You talking about this one where they take the here? So a lot of my beginners take that pawn and get the rook and the pawn for the bishop and the knight, thinking they were ahead. So that's why I covered it, because they're not, but they think it is.
Yeah, it depends when there are lines where the queen isn't here anymore, and then it's interesting.
Agreed.
Otherwise, it isn't. As long your queen is there, it's not interesting.
So they want to see the Traxler, which I have no idea what it is. So what is the Traxler opening? I'm going to have to look it up, guys, because you're not helping me. I say, tell me. Nobody tells me anything. All about the is it the counterattack? The Traxler counterattack? Is that what we're looking for?
Okay, maybe...
Oh, it's a fried liver line. Okay. Okay, let's see the fried liver line. That's the Traxler. Oh, look at this. They just go, yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So, again, I have no problem with you guys being very knowledgeable. I have no problem with Ruru if he wants to learn this line.
Yeah, of course. I'm always open.
Yeah, but, I mean, my only argument is he would have to think about this, guys. There's the accepted with the king to e3. Look at this. Okay, this is another version. Okay, there's the king to g1 line. There's the king to e1 line. I'm sorry, I don't want to go full screen, but let me go full screen for a moment. So there's the king to f1 line. There's the king to e2 line. The king to f3 line. The decline with king to e2. Why to play Traxler instead of a passive move? All right, fine. So yes, if you have time and you can remember all these lines, go for it. If you find that you always play somebody that always plays the fried liver against you and you want to beat that opponent and they always play the same lines, then yeah, go ahead and learn it and play it. Go for it. The negative for me, the simple negative for me for trying to learn this line is that's a lot of studying for one possible line that I might run into if the person plays the fried liver. And because of a simpler way to look at it, and let me go back to our study, and then I'm going to have to kill the stream soon. Oh no, yeah, oh yeah, it was the public. Okay, so but my argument is, but if there's a lot of people now that won't even play the fried liver, because of this line. They won't even play the fried liver. So a lot of people may not play the fried liver at all. Why am I going to learn that one line with all those variations that I have to learn for the possibility that I'm going to run into it? Now, again, Hikaru Nakamura with his what is it? Anyway, he can remember a whole lot and see things a whole lot. And other people maybe that have the time to do this, awesome. I personally don't have the time to learn all those variations, even for over-the-board play. I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy or the time to learn all those lines to be able to play that one exciting line that it might come up. It is one of the greatest openings. I bow to that. Again, if you want to learn it, please do. I am not telling you not to learn. I'm not telling Ruru not to learn. I'm just saying that I'm not going to be a proponent. I'm not going to go out and tell people, oh, you should learn the Traxler. That's your answer that's what you should do because no, I'd rather you, and as a GM told us the other day, you only need 5 moves. Learn the first 5 moves and play the rest over the board.
Okay, yeah. Then I have to learn 5 moves.
Yes, you do. And you have to decide what those 5 moves are. So this one is on move 8, so that's not even 5 moves. So this would be like move 5 for black. And I think it's right. And then the rest is, if he goes here, you can go here. People have done that, by the way. And they've had good games because white doesn't know what to do even per the study. You've heard legends about it. So 5 moves should be enough. So that's one variation that you can learn 5 moves. By the way, you could do this one, and you only needed to know 4 moves because whatever he does, you just play good chess, right? Whatever he does, just play good chess. Don't worry about anything else. Play good chess. I think you're fine. So so the Trackler's nice. Traxler is exciting, nice, just like the Stafford Gambit. By the way, I saw Rosen's Stafford Gambit. Then I watched his YouTube on it, and I actually played the Stafford Gambit like 4 or 5 times. I had a blast. I won like most of the games with it, and that was it. I don't play it anymore. I might play it if I just am playing for fun and I have that opportunity. But but it became a furor, right? Everybody was playing it. Everybody had to know how to beat it. It got him famous. I like him, so I'm glad he got some fame out of it. But again, learning a specific opening is not the critical thing for long-term success. The long-term success thing that you need to do is know the opening principles and get better and better and better at good principled chess. Learn the opening spot.
I think the principle is just to develop pieces for the moment. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, if you're finding that you're not developing your pieces well enough on a regular basis, then yes, we want to focus on develop. It's number 5 in my list, and these are in order of learning, not so much in order of importance, but the order of improvement. So if you find that if you still give away free candy or don't take it, we need to change that. If you find that you don't develop, we need to focus on that. And I thought you had opportunities in that last one to develop other pieces more dynamically.
Yeah, I didn't do it the right way.
Yeah.
I missed some opportunities, like the move that is showing still on the study. There it is, I think. There I had a chance to develop like a lot of pieces, but I choose to do a stupid pawn move that cost me eventually a pawn.
Yeah. But even so, I agree. And even here, on moves 8, now you have a chance to develop, and you move the knight again. So that knight moved 1, 2, 3 times just to be traded and double up pawns. So if instead you had developed any of your other pieces, you'd be better off. You could play this game.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we're on the same page. You'd be fine. Just develop other pieces. You didn't need to move the knight a 3rd time.
No.
Okay. Try to move pieces. Try to move pieces only once in the opening. Try to move pieces only once in the opening so that you develop better.
And twice if you need it. But never a 3rd time.
Yeah. So we need to focus on develop, and we want to think about a lot. We have a lot of things, right? We have tons of principles, but I like you to focus on 1 or 2 at the beginning, and then once you feel comfortable that you're doing that and you understand it and applying it when you should, then we can move on to the next one.
I think for the 3 possible moves, I think puzzles are a good idea for that, isn't it? Or
the what is for that? Puzzles? Yes. Yes. Yeah,
so
but and now here's the tricky part. Puzzles may not be the best tool for that. The reason it might not be the best tool for that is that in a puzzle, it's like there's one move. And you're trying, and they make puzzles specifically so there's only one move. So you're looking for that one move really hard. While in a real game, we don't need to find the one move. I mean, it'd be great if you could all the time. Then you'd be a GM. We just want to find. We want to find 3 good moves. Yeah. Three good moves. We'd be happy with today, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to find 3 good moves and then pick whichever one you feel comfortable with. Even if you find out later that, that other move was winning. I had a checkmate in 8 moves. Okay, I'm sorry. Find it later. Fine, that's fine. But you picked a good move that still helps you to win the game. We're happy. So, I want you to find 3 good moves because I want you to always be looking for 3 good moves. And almost every position has 3 good moves. Now, there's some like when you took your queen, you only had 1 good move. You had to take back, right?
Yeah, there's some, and when you're underneath check there, Yeah, sometimes.
Right, right. But for the most part, there's 3 opportunities. So, but if you feel like you don't focus enough on development and that you lack in development too often, let's make that your focus right now.
Yeah, and that I'm gonna do 2 things. I think the focus on my development. That that. Just Visual, thank you for the game and bye.
Yeah, thanks.
And the opening that I develop my pieces the right way, and especially with black, because white, it's easier because you are the person that isn't reacting. You are the person that's leading the dance of check at the beginning, and with black you have to react to that dance and do the right moves, like when you are dancing with a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a dance. I think you can compare it with that.
Yeah, I like it. Totally agree. All right, guys. Thank you, Ruru, for the lesson. I really appreciate your time, and I enjoyed it immensely. We're going to look for you to be focusing on develop, and finding 3 candidate moves.
Yeah, I will. And really thank you for the time and for that you wanted to do this, and that we finally found a little place in our time schedule, and that we could do this.
Agreed.
I'm really happy that I did this.
Agreed. Thank you.
And looking forward for the next lesson, if you want to.
Yes, we definitely want to. We as in me. Yes, definitely. Let me first give you one more shout out before we close down for the day. And I'm going to raid P-Flight, who is our reigning under 2000 champion, guys. He's our reigning under 2000 champion, and Ruru, you're quite welcome to playing that, but I don't know what time it is for you. It's probably an ungodly time. But 8 p.m., well, it's actually 8:45 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
How much time is that for you now?
Yeah, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, it's 3:20 in the afternoon.
Okay, yeah. So that's in 5 hours. Then it would be it's a bit late.
Yeah, yep. I thought so. No worries. No worries whatsoever.
It's like 2:30 a.m. So.
Okay. Yeah. Not a good time. Not a good time.
No. I can play once maybe if I stay up. That's what I'm going to do today.
Understand.
Because later on I've also still a stream going that I have to do, but I'm gonna take some rest now. And by the way, if you want to have an interview once, I do that on my channel too. So
okay.
I invite you by this we can do an interview then, because I think this evening I have somebody that wants to do an interview with me.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, let me know. If you want to, I'll happily reciprocate and visit your stream, and we could do an interview. That'd be great. I've never done one of those.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, I'm switching up, guys. I said I was going to raid P-Flight, but P-Flight is actually doing a PogChamps 4 some kind of coverage. It's not really him playing, so I'm going to instead hit up Froya Chess. If you haven't seen her yet, you might like her. It's somebody new for you to check out. All right. Thanks again, Ruru. I will see you guys later. Have a great day. Have a great week. I am on tomorrow at 8 o'clock with our Under 2000 qualifier. Under 2000 qualifier, 8 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see you later. Good night. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right. Ruru, I am stopping